The American kill line debate, China-US daily life differences and rational perception. Today, I want to talk about a topic that has sparked heated discussions in China recently, the so-called American kill line, and then share some observations on the differences between China and the United States, focusing on daily life details to inspire some thoughtful reflections. First of all, let's clarify what the American kill line refers to in the Chinese public discourse. It is not an official term but a popular phrase used by netizens, evolved from a video game term meaning the critical health threshold below which a character can be killed in one hit. In the context of American society, it describes a perceived danger line. Some people believe there is a certain line in American society, and once crossed, whether in terms of financial status, social credit, or even personal circumstances, one may face disproportionate and irreversible risks, such as financial collapse, homelessness, or loss of basic living security. Several English expressions are used to refer to this concept. 1. American kill line. The most direct translation, retaining the original game term's vividness, widely used in Chinese netizens' discussions and even mentioned in U.S. media reports. American survival threshold emphasizes the critical point for maintaining basic survival, focusing on the vulnerability of daily living. American financial breaking line highlights the core connotation of financial fragility, referring to the threshold where unexpected events, such as illness, unemployment, trigger a chain reaction leading to financial collapse. This discussion was triggered by overseas news events, e.g., the homelessness of former child star Taylor Chase, and shared experiences, e.g., Reddit users' accounts of bankruptcy due to medical bills, arousing widespread attention and debate among Chinese netizens. It is important to emphasize that this is a subjective perception formed by part of the public based on limited information and cannot represent the entire picture of American society. Every country has its own social operation rules, risk points, and cultural characteristics. The United States, as a country with a diverse population and a complex social structure, has its own advantages in terms of technological innovation, cultural inclusiveness, and personal development space, while it also faces challenges such as social division and public security issues. Just as China, with its rapid development, has made remarkable achievements in people's livelihood security, infrastructure construction, and social stability, it also needs to continuously improve in some aspects. Therefore, we should avoid simplifying or labeling any country. Next, let's talk about the differences between China and the United States in daily life details. These differences are rooted in historical and cultural traditions, social systems, and national conditions, and there is no absolute distinction between good and bad, but only differences in adaptation to their respective national conditions. In terms of living rhythm, China's major cities are generally fast-paced. Especially in first-tier cities such as Beijing, Shanghai, and Guangzhou, people are busy with work and study, and the efficiency of life and work is highly valued. For example, the morning rush hour in Chinese cities is usually a scene of hustle and bustle. People rush to subway stations and bus stops, holding breakfast in their hands, and strive to get to work on time. After work, many people will also use their spare time to learn new skills or participate in training courses to improve themselves. In contrast, the living rhythm in most parts of the United States is relatively relaxed, especially in small cities and rural areas. Americans pay more attention to work-life balance. After work, they often choose to accompany their families, do outdoor sports such as hiking and camping, or hold family gatherings. Even in big cities like New York and Los Angeles, although the work rhythm is fast, people will consciously set aside time for rest and entertainment, and rarely bring work back home on weekends. In terms of social welfare and security, the two countries have different systems and focuses. China's social welfare system is continuously improving, with basic medical insurance and pension insurance covering most of the population. For example, in China, residents can participate in urban and rural residents' medical insurance with a small amount of payment every year, and they can be reimbursed for a certain proportion of medical expenses when they see a doctor, which effectively reduces the burden of medical expenses. In addition, China has a relatively complete public security system. The crime rate in most areas is low, and people can walk safely on the street at night. The United States has a more mature social welfare system in some aspects, such as unemployment insurance and social security benefits, which can provide certain economic support for vulnerable groups. However, due to the influence of factors such as the social system and regional differences, The medical insurance system in the United States is relatively complex, and the medical expenses are high. Many low-income groups may face the problem of insufficient medical security. In terms of public security, the United States has obvious regional differences. Some areas have a high crime rate, and gun-related incidents occur from time to time, which has become a concern of the public. In terms of food culture and daily diet, the differences are also very obvious. Chinese food culture has a long history, with a wide variety of dishes and exquisite cooking skills. Chinese families like to cook at home. On weekends or festivals, the whole family will gather together to make a table of delicious food and enjoy the time of family reunion. In daily life, street snacks and takeout in China are very convenient. You can order a hot meal with your mobile phone in a few minutes, and the delivery speed is very fast. Americans pay more attention to the convenience and efficiency of diet. Fast food such as hamburgers, fried chicken, and sandwiches are very popular. Many families will choose to eat out or order takeout on weekdays. On weekends, some families will hold barbecues in the backyard and invite friends to gather. In addition, Americans pay more attention to food nutrition labels, and they will carefully check the nutritional composition and calorie content when buying food, while Chinese people pay more attention to the taste and flavor of food. In terms of interpersonal communication, there are also obvious differences between the two countries. Chinese people pay attention to modesty, politeness, and interpersonal harmony. When communicating with others, they often consider the feelings of the other party and are used to expressing their views euphemistically. For example, when refusing others, Chinese people will try to find a gentle way to avoid hurting the other party's feelings. In addition, Chinese people attach great importance to family ties and friendship. They often keep in touch with relatives and friends and help each other when they are in trouble. Americans are more direct and confident in communication. They like to express their views and ideas frankly, and do not like to beat around the bush. In interpersonal relationships, they pay more attention to personal independence and respect the privacy of others. Even between family members, they will maintain a certain sense of boundaries. For example, after children grow up, they usually move out to live independently and establish their own families. After talking about these specific differences, I want to share some thoughts. In today's globalized world, exchanges between China and the United States are becoming more frequent, but misunderstandings between the two peoples still exist from time to time. The so-called American kill line discussion in China is, in a sense, a reflection of some people's lack of comprehensive understanding of American society based on fragmented information and typical cases. Similarly, some people in the United States may also have misunderstandings about China due to one-sided reports. In fact, every country is a complex and diverse entity, and it is impossible to summarize its overall situation with a single label or a certain phenomenon. The differences between China and the United States are the result of the long-term development of history, culture, and society, and these differences should not be the reason for mutual opposition, but the basis for mutual learning. China can learn from the United States' experience in technological innovation and cultural communication. And the United States can also understand China's concepts in people's livelihood security and social governance. Through in-depth exchanges and mutual understanding, the two peoples can narrow the distance between each other and build a more harmonious and stable international environment. In addition, we should also realize that no country's development model is perfect. Both China and the United States are constantly exploring and improving their own development paths in response to their own social problems. When we look at other countries, we should hold an objective and rational attitude, avoid blind admiration or blind criticism, and learn from each other's strengths to make up for our own weaknesses. Finally, I hope that through today's sharing, everyone can have a more comprehensive and in-depth understanding of the differences between China and the United States, and at the same time, establish a rational perspective on looking at different countries and cultures. In the era of globalization, mutual understanding and respect are the keys to promoting the development of human society. Let us put aside prejudices and misunderstandings, strengthen exchanges and cooperation, and create a better future for all mankind. Thank you all for listening.